Hey guys, this video is for our 2nd through 4th grade leaders for February week 4. I can't believe we're already in our last week of February. This month, our theme has been Rewind, Kindness Deserves a Replay all month long. The first week we talked about how God is kind to us, so we should be kind to others. Then we talked about being kind to our family and friends. Last week we talked about being kind to people who are overlooked. And this week, really important one in the story is love your enemies and be kind to people who aren't kind to you. So our life app for the month, kindness, showing others that they are valuable by how you treat them. Also, our memory verse for this month is the golden rule, Luke 6:31. Do to others as you want them to do to you. So I'm going to have memory verse challenge cards for our elementary kids to pass out this week. So make sure that they all get one of those. They bring them back the next week. They can bring them to the cafe to get a free donut. Super easy memory verse this month, but so important. We want kids to have this in their brains and their hearts so that they can apply it in their everyday life. So you'll pass those out to your kids this week as well. All right, heading into our lessons, just make sure that you're here at 8:30 and 10:30 so that you have a few minutes to just stop and pray for your small group before things get crazy. Just pray knowing that we always have people around us that can be unkind, and we're all going to experience unkind people in our life. But just ask God for the strength that we would learn. That we would learn how to respond to unkindness with kindness, and pray that God would give your small group kids the courage to do that even when someone is not kind to them. Then when kids start to roll in at 8:40 and 10:40, ask them to join your circle and ask about their week. Make sure you know their names. Make sure that any first-time guests feel very welcomed. And then some icebreaker questions. What are some things that a bully does? Have you ever met a bully, and how did they make you feel? So some heavy questions that I'm sure kids will have a lot to talk about with those. Then when service starts at 9 and 11, you're going to do a little game called the Wheel of Unkindness. So what you're going to do is you're going to have kids get in a circle, and you're going to put this spinner in the middle where they can all reach. So this is your little Wheel of Unkindness spinner. It's in the front pocket of your folder. And you're going to have each kid spin and then act out the unkind challenge that they land on, and you'll just keep going until each kid has had a turn. So some of the things, they'll just take that little paper clip and spin it. Using your voice, act like the villain from your favorite movie. Say, I don't think so, in a creepy voice. Name the bad guy in your favorite book. Steal a turn from the person sitting to your left. Do a funny, evil laugh. Say, no way, Mom, in a super rude voice. So those are just kind of cute, funny things. So you'll close down by saying, so guys, sometimes we laugh at people or do or say things that are unkind. But the truth is, if you're unkind in a serious way, it can really hurt somebody. So today in large group, we're going to learn about what we can do for people who are being unkind to us.
I'm hungry.
Okay, we're going to eat lunch in just a minute, okay? All right. So then you'll head to large group after your intro activity, and just make sure that you're sitting with your kids. Hold on. Okay, go out and get someone from the table out front where it's at, okay? Uncle Herc's out there. Make sure that you just sit with your kids, help them to engage in the Bible story for this week, help them to worship, encourage them to worship, bribe them maybe even to dance along with you. And then the review activity when you get back is kindness origami. So you'll need your scissors, and I think there's extra scissors in both of the big white cabinets in the room. And you will hand out this activity page to kids, and what they're going to do is they're going to cut out that big black square that goes almost all the way around. And there's even little instructions on the side, although I think most kids will know how to make one of these, and probably most of you adults do too. Gentlemen, if you don't, I would just ask some of the ladies in the room because they probably do. So you'll just help kids follow the instructions and fold. It's like one of those little fortune teller things. And display how it works. Well, you use your fingers to kind of like go through. So kids will pick a number, and then you move it that many times, and then they pick a color and you spell it out, P-I-N-K. And then you open it up and it gives you something kind to do to other people. So ask a few volunteers to use their kindness origami to choose a way to be kind, and then give an example of how they would do those things this week. So some of the things are let someone get in front of you in line, say something nice, help someone solve a problem, invite someone to play with you, tell somebody they look nice, ask someone if they want to be friends, tell someone why they're awesome, share something that means a lot to you. And then you'll just close by saying, so guys, how cool is this? What a fun way to help us show kindness when we're in some super tough situations. Can any of you guys think of a tough situation that you faced lately where it was really hard to be kind? and then let them talk about it, and that sounds really hard. So how about we open up our kindness origami and get an idea for what we could do for that person to be kind. So then just practice doing that, and then just tell them, so this week, guys, use your kindness origami as a tool to remind you of ways that you can be kind to people who aren't kind to you. So then for the memory verse review, you don't need anything. You're going to have your few share without using names about something unkind that someone has done to them. And then as they respond, you're just going to ask them, okay, so what would the opposite of that be? How could that person have been kind instead of unkind? For example, if somebody butted them in line, then the opposite, they would have waited their turn or gone to the end of the line. So after you've had some discussion, just remind your small group of this month's memory verse, okay? And encourage them to go out and to be the kindness, and just repeat the verse together, and this might be when you hand out their little memory verse challenge cards for the month. And then you just close by saying, so guys, our memory verse this month tells us that we should show kindness to others that we would want to receive ourselves. I just want to encourage you guys to go out and be that kindness. Be the kind person in your classroom. And if you want people to wait their turn in line, then let somebody go in front of you. And whatever sounds like a really cool thing to be given, give that thing to someone else. And don't forget, just be kind to people who aren't kind to you, okay? Not just the people who are kind. So then there's some optional small group questions. If you want to sit around, if you want to have a snack with your kids or some candy or whatever it might be, you could ask these questions. Some really great, thoughtful questions. Jesus, who is the kindest person ever, had enemies. So why do you think he had enemies? What's the big deal about kindness? Hold on, Henry. What should you do if you're being bullied? And if you can't stop someone from being unkind to you, what should you do? So some great questions to think about, especially for our older kids. Yes, Henry.
My water's not out there.
Okay, I'll come get it. Just a minute. I'm almost done, okay? I promise. 1 minute, okay? Okay. All right, so for prayer, you're just going to have I've got some blank paper on all your carts, and you've got pens and pencils and markers. Just explain to your small group that they're going to write out their prayers to God that they can take home, and just encourage them to ask God to help them to be kind to people who are unkind to them. And after they finish writing out their prayers, just pray over your few that they would continue to be kind. So again, this might not be for everyone. Boys, if your boys aren't feeling it, just close down in prayer with your small group. You don't have to do this. Girls, if you think that the girls are ready and that they want to write out their prayers, it's a great way for them to kind of practice journaling, praying. So there's just a prayer to close with, and as adults come, maybe have them show that they wrote out their prayers, and have the kids show them their little origami tellers and their memory verse challenge for the month. So that's it for this week, guys. It's a great lesson, very practical for kids right now. Thank you guys so much for serving and being small group leaders. We will continue to talk to our 2nd through 4th grade boys right after a large group, just about being respectful and behavior. So thank you guys for being small group leaders, even in the times that it's hard. Just thank you so much for serving. What you do, I just can't tell you how much it matters and what a difference it makes. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you on Sunday.